Welcome to JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And with me now, John Cooney. How you doing, John?
Not so bad, man. Not so bad. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
No worries at all, mate. It's good to have you on. And as I say, a lad that lived not too far away is obviously in Ireland now. How's life over there?
Over in Dublin. Yeah, life's great over here. I've been here the past about 5 years now, just over 5 years probably. My family originally Irish. I grew up in London and lived in Bournemouth also. But now, moved back to Ireland when I was roughly around 19 with a family. And I've stayed here since, The pro career started off in Dublin and we're staying here for the foreseeable future. Yeah, it's going well.
Do you prefer it?
Yeah, I do now. I think at the start, it took me a little while to kind of really settle because obviously growing up in London, very different to life. We say I was living in Galway in Ireland, and they're two very different places, So kind of settling in was quite hard. But now that I'm pretty settled, I actually prefer it here. I don't know if I could live in London now again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of. I don't know if I'd be able for that pace of life now. I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. So very happy here. Enjoy life here. Yeah, it's good.
Well, no, and it probably helps, doesn't it? Having that surrounding around you, that your mentality. You're not caught up in all the buzz and the running around.
Yeah, nice. No, it's good. It's good. Like I'd have a few more friends back in England where I'd probably be getting up to no good with them if I was with them, sort of thing. Whereas I still have friends here and stuff, but you keep it a little bit more. It's more family. I just stick to the boxing, stay dedicated, stay training, try not to go off the rails too much.
Yeah.
Easily done.
Yeah, especially there, mate. Especially there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 fights, 3 wins, 1 knockout. We're on a good start, mate. We're on a good start.
Yeah. It started off good. I think I'm only going to get 10 times better each fight from here. My first fight was my first fight for 3 years. I'd been out of the ring, amateur all pro, for the last 3 years before that. So it was a lot of ring rust there in the first fight, even a little bit of the second fight, to be honest. I'm only really now, even in sparring, I'm starting to get it all back and get into my groove. And I think these next 2-3 fights, you're going to see a massive difference and you're going to see, a lot better performances. But it's still been a good start so far, so I can't complain too much.
No, not at all, mate. If you got 100% on the record, you can't grumble at that at all.
Yeah.
Where did it all start for you then, John? When did you start boxing? Oh, you still there, John?
Say that again, sorry.
Sorry, mate. I think I lost you for a second.
Still it. Go on.
That's all right.
All right.
When did boxing sort of start for you?
Boxing started when I was probably about 12 years old in London, getting up to no good and stuff and watching a few Rocky films. I was like, oh yeah, I could do that. I'd love to do that. I was getting a lot of scraps when I was younger and stuff. So it was just something I wanted to do, something, I thought I'd get good at it, sort of thing. It'd help me out then or whatever. And I got into it around 12, but I really started to get involved when I moved down south to Bournemouth when I was about 13, 14. And my first amateur coach, who was a family friend, Adrian Malloy, he kind of took me to the gym. I wasn't too interested at that point. I was playing soccer and stuff and was getting into a teenager and all this. And I'd moved down south from London, which was a lot rougher, to Bournemouth, which was a lot nicer, and didn't feel like I needed to do it kind of. And then I got into it with the Adrian Malloy coach. He dragged me down to the gym and that was it. I kind of really fell in love with it then and started boxing at about, I think I had my first fight just before my 15th birthday. Would have been the first one down in Southampton. I used to box for Golden Ring. Don't know if you've ever heard of it, a good amateur club down in Southampton. Yeah, started off down there. Stuart Gill's over that down in there. He's had many amateur champions, young lads, even seniors, but plenty of young amateur champions. It's a good gym. Had 4 fights there, and then my coach moved to another club in Lymington called Lawrence ABC. Went over there, and that was where I really took off for me. I had a few fights and then they threw me in the deep end into the national championships elites. I'd only had like 7 fights, but they were finding it difficult to get me fights. Or at least that's what they told me anyway. Whether it was or not, I don't know. But they said, look, you're going to have to do the championships. And I think they just thought, oh, look, he'll get him 1 or 2 fights, even if he loses, sort of thing. But I ended up having a good run and getting to the semi-finals and losing to the eventual winner on a close decision.
Oh, you can't grumble at that, mate, when you've been sort of
No,
barely any experience.
Yeah.
What a learning curve.
Yeah, I think it was my 10th amateur fight was the semi-finals of the elites, and I was boxing a kid from Repton who had like 40 fights.
Yeah.
You know, sort of cracky, boxed for England already, GB squad and stuff like that. So I was really up against it. It was a close fight. So I was as happy as you can. Obviously, you're not never happy with losing, but I was as happy as I could be because I went a lot further than expected me to. That kind of tone for me at different ships. I had 20 amateur fights, but I did 4 national championships. All my fights were in championships. I got to 2 quarterfinals and 2 semifinals, and kind of the tone was I always ended up losing to the eventual winner. Just, you know, them elite sort of amateur styles. You know, just because I wasn't as active as they were. I was the real killer. I was, was only really fighting in championships once or twice a year rather than fighting, like some of the lads do.
Yeah. And this is the thing, isn't it? You know, when you start getting into that sort of thing, you're coming up against people, like you were saying, that have had loads of amateur fights, and you're coming in, and, but the good thing is you got less wear and tear. So now you've gone into your professional career, and you're fresh, ready to go. You know, you can see that in your first 3 fights, and like we were saying, your first fight is against Abata.
Chris in the batter. Yeah,
you said tough individual. So you've had a good mix. Yeah. You've had a good mix in those first 3 fights already.
Yeah.
And
I have. It's been the two first lads I got were South Americans, and they were very tough, but they're also very proud. Even when I was hitting them, I was hurting them. They were able to mask it and not show it, and they were trying to come back. Then it wasn't. No disrespect to some journeymen, but some European journeymen, they come in, they feel 1 or 2 hard slaps, and they straight away they're falling over and taking nearly dives, whereas these South Americans, they're tough boys, and they're proud, they're proud. They don't want to go down, you know what I mean? They don't like to go down, so it was good. I got the rounds in and stuff, it was only 4 rounders, but it was still good to get the rounds in, obviously, after being so inactive as well,
Yeah, especially, you say that about the South Americans, but they do it all for the family name, don't they? They're very passionate people, and none of them lay down. Bloody hell! Some of the fights we've seen, mate, the South Americans are tough.
Yeah, I mean, even like we've been fighting in Spain. 2 of my fights have been in Spain, like, and a lot of the we would say journeyman sort of thing. A lot of the away opponents, they would be South Americans or of that descent sort of thing, Spanish and stuff, and they are really tough boys. Like, not even just the lads I've had a fight with. There was a lad that one of my stablemates, Tony Brown, fought. He fought. I think he was Colombian maybe, and he was like Tyson. He was solid. He really was solid, and the punches he was landing, you could hit him. You're like, phew. There's a few other, there's been a few upsets on the cards that I've seen from them. So they really do come to fight. You have to try to put them in their place as much as you can, because otherwise, if they feel any way that they can nick the fight, they'll try to.
Yeah. And the good thing is you've stayed active. November, February, March. Good. Especially during that time as well. You've done well to stay active. When are you looking to get back out again?
Hopefully the end of May now. It's not 100% just yet, but that's the date I'm working towards. Either the end of May or start of June. We're deep in camp now, just training hard. Never really come off of it anyway, because obviously, like I say, I'm staying active. So I'm not out at the gym longer than for 4 or 5 days or a week. Obviously with the do you know what I mean? When you come back aboard, you have to kind of,
quarantine,
isolate for 5 days, whatever, and get a test and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm still doing bits and pieces. So I'm never really out of the gym. It's just ticking over onto the next fight. So hopefully now at end of May, be stepping up to 6 rounds, because my first 3 fights were 4 rounders.
Yeah.
So now for the next fight, stepping up to 6 rounders.
You looking forward to it? Looking forward to stepping up?
Yeah. I think to be honest, I think 6 rounders are going to shoot me down to the ground because I'm quite a strong physical lad, and I do think I punch quite hard. So it just give me that bit extra time to wear lads down, because in my first 2 fights, like I said, the South Americans I thought were very, very tough, very durable. And definitely the second lad, if I had 6 rounds, I think I could have got him out of there, because I was hurting him. At the end of the fourth, I watched the fight back, even when I was in there, straight away, he was like, oh, he's holding his stomach. You could see he was feeling it, but obviously 4 rounds, it's hard to, because you don't want to go in there and, go 100 miles an hour, otherwise you'll blow out as well. So I think 6 rounders and 8 rounders, we'll start to see my boxing ability come on a little bit more, and I'll show a little bit more to my game, and then the power will come through that bit more because I'll be, taking my time and relaxing it. It'll just all come through that. So I'm looking forward to stepping up, yeah.
Yeah, you can learn to sort of pace yourself more, can't you, over the rounds?
That's it.
And put together what you've actually sort of put together in the gym. You can actually practice where in 4 rounds, if you lose those first 2 rounds, bloody hell, you've got to get on your bike and get going to try and catch up.
This is it. Like when I was doing them 3, 4 rounders, you start fast, just because you don't want to have any little. Especially for me, I like to put, as you say, put manners on people straight away. Especially away opponents. You don't want them coming thinking or getting any confidence from the get go. Because if they do, some of them then start building on that. Next thing you know, you've actually got a bit of a tough fight in your hands. So I think it's good to really stamp your authority straight away. Even in 6 rounders, 8 rounders, I believe that's something to have. But obviously, you don't do it to the same extent. But neither are they. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that step up. Just take my time a bit more, and the skill will show a little bit more then as well.
Have you got any idea, John, where your fight will be, or is it just
could be
where you get told?
I think it might be in Spain. It's going to be in Europe anyway, because that's where we've been based at the moment. Obviously, with all the COVID restrictions and just the way the world is, that's the way where we're keeping active out there. And it's brilliant, actually. They're good shows. The setup's good. Even the production's very good. It's very professional out in Spain. I've had 2 fights out there in Belgium as well, in Brussels. So yeah, I think it's supposed to be out in Spain. I think that's what it's looking like. But it could also be Belgium as well. So just holding tight and waiting to see what cards are coming off and stuff,
Yeah, the Irish seem to be invading old Belgium at the moment. There's been loads of fights there, isn't there?
Yeah, that has. It's just because obviously in Ireland at the moment there's nothing really going on, with the restrictions. I mean, we're still in level 5 restrictions. We're still locked down basically. So there's just nothing going on. So, like we were saying, it's not good being inactive. And lads have been inactive for over a year now because of, obviously, we've been in the pandemic for a year. So people are just trying to get out. And I guess Belgium, they've been putting on the shows, and they've been happy to have Irish fights over. So everyone's been jumping on the plane.
Yeah. No, mate. And as you say, as long as you're training and you're ready, then you're ready to go, aren't you?
That's it.
You get the call, you're off, and there's no reason not to, is there? There's a lot of fighters at the moment that are kind of waiting for the right moment to come along, for lockdown to ease up and the crowds to come back. But you've got to go, otherwise someone else will, basically.
Yeah, look, it depends obviously on the fighter. Obviously the likes of Furies and AJs and bigger fighters, bigger names, they want certain money, so they're looking for fans or looking to have it here, there, or whatever. But lads who are just starting out, the likes of myself and the boys from the gym, and other lads who are kind of near even title level, if you've got a big fight on the way and you've been out for a year and a half, you want at least a 4 or 6 rounder or something to get you back and get that ring rust stuff. So yeah, look, it's good to stay busy for everyone. I think we've seen it over the years. You see back in the day, they used to have 100, 150 fights, could be fighting every other month, even doing 12, 15 rounders. So no, I think it's good to stay active, and it's professional as well. And you look at the very elite lads, they do that. They stay in the gym, they stay out regular. A perfect example at the moment is Canelo, one of the busiest fighters at that elite level, and just look how good he's doing. Just always staying in the gym, always improving.
Yeah, no, he's rolling the fights out, isn't he? It's
He
ridiculous.
is.
Callum Smith straight into Yildirim. Now he's got Billy Joe Saunders. He's going, isn't he? So
Yeah, he's not
that's off
messing
to him.
about. Yeah. That's like, you have to say he's pound for pound #1, just because of what he's doing and the way he's doing it. I mean, Callum Smith, I rated highly. I thought his size, and his length and everything else and his power could give Canelo problems, but Canelo just walked him down and just made it look quite he made it look quite easy. Like, just it was like I thought at least Callum Smith would be able to maybe land a few shots to make him think about walking him down. But even his jab, like he was out jabbing Callum Smith, and I really didn't think he was going to be able to do that. He's, and I think that's just because he's just staying so active and he's just fighting all these different styles, different sizes, and he's got different sparring partners coming in all the time for different fighters, and he's just become a pretty much complete fighter. He's one of the only people out there you could say that's probably complete. So
yeah, and momentum in it, as you were saying, he's just he's just rolling with it. Whoever gets in his way, he's taking them out, and he don't care who they are, and that's a dangerous fighter, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, what he done to Kovalev going up to 175. I know Kovalev is at the end of his career. Let's to be honest, he was there for the taking, but at the same time, he was still a legitimate light heavyweight banger and a great world champion in his day. Like, so to take him out in that style and dominate him, to be honest, do the same to him as he did to Smith was very impressive. Very impressive.
Well, before you go, John, you said two names that you shouldn't have brought up, but I'm going to bring them up anyway. Is AJ Fury. Now, you brought it on yourself, mate. It's the question I ask everyone. Who are you going with? It's obviously not going to it's not going to be over here.
Fury.
It's going to be Saudi Arabia, isn't it? It's going to be like Saudi Arabia, somewhere like that. But
yeah, it looks that way. Yeah,
you reckon Fury? No question.
Yeah, I just can't see. Like AJ is very good. He's a great, big, powerful fighter, but I just can't see how he beats Fury. Fury can do so many different things. Like what he did to Wilder in that second fight. I mean, if you're not impressed by that, you'll never be impressed by anything, because Fury's such a mover, and like look what he was like in the first fight. Everyone said he's just going to do that again and win and actually get a fair decision, but he didn't. He walked him back and beat him up and bullied him, and he's such a big man. I don't think he's the biggest puncher per se, pound for pound, but he weighs 260 odd pound. Like he's 6'8" or something. Is he? He's massive. Like, I mean, so when he hits you. 6'9". There you go. I mean, he's massive, and when he hits you, you're gonna feel it. So, but AJ's powerful too. I think AJ's best chance in that fight is really sticking it on him from the get go and just like nearly doing a Hagler Hearns and just having a blowout and see who lasts. Do you know? I think I know that's probably not the best tactical thing to do, but I can't see.
John said,
yeah. I just can't see him beating him over 12 rounds. Definitely not. And I can't see AJ's tank goes in the later rounds. It really does dip. He goes, I don't know what, it's normally around 6, 7, 8. He just dips. He does come back a bit, but he really dips. And I think if he dips with Fury, I think he's in a world of trouble,
Yeah. So, John, it's a 2-fight deal though, mate. So are you going over 2 fights? Because, for example, this goes to I'm not arguing with you. You're a boxer, but Saudi Arabia, it goes over there. Say Fury wins it, Because to be fair, he is probably the best for going anywhere and winning anywhere because it don't matter to him.
He doesn't give a fuck.
If it comes back here and say you stick it in Wembley, which would be amazing, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
It would.
Hear me out.
I definitely tried to get the ticket.
You know where I'm going. I'm going. But if it goes to Wembley and there's the old flaming AJ sign and there's everything going on.
Look, anything's possible on any given night, especially in heavyweights. I mean, like, I've seen so many upsets over the years. There's so many things that come into it. Camp for one, Are they carrying any injuries or any knocks or bumps into a fight? Because, I know a lot of fighters say, I've had the best camp ever, and they say this and say that. But at the end of the day, they could have sprained an ankle. Look, AJ, Fury might have had a tactical plan to get on his move, and then he could have sprained an ankle, and then he's got to stand there and fight. and it might work, and you just don't know. Like, so, anything can happen, but I definitely back Fury all the way in 2 fights, to be honest.
Well, there we go. We've heard it from John.
Hello?
So it's going to happen. Yeah, I can. Well, we'll see what happens,
Hello?
John. You're right there. You still there, mate? John? No, I think we've lost John for the moment.
Hello?
You're right there, John?
Yeah, broke up there.
That's all right, mate. I think I hadn't kicked you out or anything because you said it twice. No, it's going to be one of those fights. Let's hope it happens to begin with.
Well, this is it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I've been saying for ages, I don't even know if it will happen. There's so much behind, there's so much politics, so much crap. But it'll be great for boxing, and especially British boxing. And that's why I feel like whatever about the first one being somewhere else, they have to have that second fight in the UK. It has to be. There's no money. I don't care what money they get. If both of them don't make it a thing where it happens in the UK in their second fight, they should be ashamed of themselves, because realistically, they're still going to get crazy money even if it's in the UK. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Them boys aren't short of a quid. Do you know what I mean? They're not short of money. So hopefully it does happen.
John, what would you pay for a ticket?
Oh, I'd pay $1,000 or $2, to be honest, to be close up to it. I would. Do you know what I mean? I'd be one of them people. If I was going to a fight like that, I wouldn't want to be lost in the back.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it. You can't. You can't see it. I mean, the atmosphere would be something else. But I'm one of these. I'm like, especially for a fight like that, I'd really rather watch in my front room because I could actually see the fight perfectly.
Yeah.
I want to see everything because when you're watching from a distance, you might think they're landing when they're not landing. It could be hitting their elbows or shoulders or whatever. So I'm a bit of a boxing nerd like that. I like watching on the TV too because you can see everything, make it clear. But that would be some atmosphere, and I'd definitely be looking to get a ticket. So
yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like you just said there, watching it in your lounge, your sitting room, because I went to Chisora versus White too, and I had a really good seat because I had the screen, but I could see directly into the ring as well. So I had a really good level.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
And, mate, which was an absolute steal. 40 quid. What a winner.
Yeah, happy day.
And I'll tell you, when I watched it back on the telly, some of the shots that I thought Chisora was landing, he wasn't. And I was thinking, hang on a minute. Like on everyone's card, Chisora was winning. But yeah, when you watched it at home, it was a completely different story, But
this is it, this is it, yeah. This
the
is
commentators,
it. It's all right for
stuff like that.
It's all right for the judges up close, but even some of them have been getting wrong recently. I don't know about you, but there's been some proper dodgy scorecards lately.
Shockers.
It's just like sometimes I'm sat there, I'm like, what are they watching? Like, I don't. It's like it's confusing sometimes. Like one judge could have it one fella wide, and then the next could have it the other fella wide. It's like how can two people see such a different thing, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it was Estrada and Chocolatito, and that they had the fight between those two abroad, and it was like 95-93 for two judges, and you thought, that's fair enough, either way. And then one judge was like, oh yeah, it's like, that's got to be like a 98, 90, whatever. And it was like, what? But hey, judges, mate, we won't get into that.
Yeah. That's it. Don't leave it to the judge to knock out. I say.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, mate. I'll tell you. But John, thanks for coming on, mate. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully, we get the chance to see you fight at the end of May, with a bit of luck, beginning of June at a push.
Yeah. Hopefully.
And if you get a stream or anything, let us know.
Yeah. There'll be a stream up on they do a stream, so there'll be a stream up on my Instagram, which is JHC_boxing. So if anyone wants to give it a follow and keep the updates on that as well and everything. So yeah.
No, honestly, John, really appreciate your time, mate, and good luck.
Lovely. Thank you.
And see you soon.
I'm sure we'll chat soon. See you later.
Yeah. Take care, John. Thanks, mate.
Nice one. Bye.
John Cooney, he's got a big career ahead of him. 3 wins, already under his belt in the case of, 5 months. He's on fire. Hopefully, you know, he's got a big future ahead of him. Hopefully got his fight end of May. So tune in, as we say, check John out on Instagram, give him a follow, support him. Great lad. And yeah, let's just get behind these fighters at the moment, especially during this time as well. So you've been watching JG's Fight Talk, sponsored by Rich's Boxing and Limitless Creations. And if you like what you've seen today, go over to YouTube, hit the subscribe button, and check out the rest of the content. But thanks for tuning in.